願いします。
お願いします。
Okay, well, let's start with a few moments of zazen. Settle and clear the mind. Settle and clear the body. Having a soft gaze is helpful for softening the rest of the body. Each out breath is a releasing breath. And slowly coming up, using the ground to come up. So not pulling up, not being in a hurry, settling down, pressed up. And continue that process as we stand. Imagine water dripping off the body, rolling all the way down to the fingertips and dripping off the fingertips. Down the legs, off the feet, disappearing into the soil. Consciously releasing the abdomen. And rolling the shoulders, activating the spine. Let the lower back lengthen, release, and open. It's real easy to kink the lower back or aggravate the tightness when we do other movements. So we want to elongate that lower back. Same thing with the back of the neck. Again, releasing the abdomen. Other way. And keeping the hips fixed, just the upper body. So from the waist, it's kind of like drawing a circle on the ceiling with the top of the head and just turning the upper body. Again, releasing the abdomen, hanging the tailbone, and then the other way. And then the hips. And keeping the weight in the middle, but knees bent, arm swings. Again, hanging the tailbone, lower back flat. Crown up towards the sky as the tailbone points to the ground. Winding down and shaking the hands as we do the same arm swing. And equal awareness, equal flow through both arms. And to the back corners. Keeping the body open so the breath can move freely through the open body. And rolling the head in front. and turning. Okay, the arms, extend up the arms longer and longer through the fingers. The arms go up in a Y shape and press the arms as far back as you can. So we're pinching the shoulder blades together for this. Again, keep the lower back flat. Hold this for about half a minute and pressing back. So this is really good to help straighten the upper back and the neck. You know, from a lot of sitting, we tend to have that neck scooped forward and the hump in the back there. This helps to correct and alleviate that. And then from here, from this Y shape to the W shape, and again, so we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then arms at 90 degrees. So elbows are almost behind you. And we'll go back to the W shape. Keep pressing those arms behind. Abdomen, Y shape. Pressing behind. W. Really press the shoulders down and back. This is the L shape. And then interlace your fingers behind and pull back, pulling your shoulders back. Breathe comfortably. Getting those shoulder blades to touch. And then very slowly, comfortably bend the knees, bending over, bringing the hands over the head. The hands hang towards the floor. Push hips forward to come up. Release the hands, go back to the L shape, still pressing the elbows behind you. Breathe. W shape, press the shoulders down and back. And Y shape. Light horse stance. Lengthening arms, coming to the Aikido body shape. Shoulders down, rolling the elbows forward. Hang the hips, release the abdomen. Rolling those elbows forward. Hang the hips means really hanging the hips. So it's complete, not holding anything up. So all the work has to be in the legs. And before people have sufficient strength in the legs, they're having to hold themselves up with other parts of the body, including the lower back. So we develop the base, strong legs, so you can totally hang the hips. You're completely hanging. And that stretches the lower spine, the bottom half of the spine, pointing the back crown of the head to the ceiling, stretches the upper half of the spine. And in the middle, we drop the shoulders and roll the elbows forward. Release the abdomen. And the same quality and same feeling, opening the joints, hanging the hips, rolling the elbows forward, and Hami no Kamai. So a slight forward stance. So it's just a different standing practice, different shape, same quality, same work. Rolling the elbows forward, 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 hanging the hips straight down. Hanging the hips straight down will counter any tendency to lean forward. For strongly rolling the elbows forward, that might even bring you forward. So prevent that by hanging the hips. Get that clear vertical axis. Breathe in, open, switch feet, breathe out, hang the hips, roll the elbows. Breathe in, open, release, switch the feet, breathe out, hang the hips, extend, roll the elbows. So that lengthening, straightening the lower back, same process should be in the back of the neck. And once more, hang the hips. Let the weight exit through the legs, and that releases the upper body and spine. So that's the yin and the yang. So you release the weight down, the weight just falls freely through the hips and legs, and that releases and opens the upper body. So we have down, which is yin, up, which is yang. Releasing down, weight exits freely, like free fall, and that opens and releases the upper body, allows the spine just to freely lengthen. Breathe in, breathe out. So this down action creates that up action. And breathe in, breathe out, sink and flow. Okay. So 8th cue. So Taino Henko, let's go over this. Okay, so I'll demonstrate a couple. So offline, turn. So offline, and as you know, you want to keep that in front of your center. So I don't want that to travel over here because I'm open now, and it's away from my power zone. Power zone, those 2 hip points. That's where my power resides. As long as my arms, hands are in that power zone, I have an ability to transfer that power to my arms. Once they go outside those zones, be pulled away, disengaged from you. So as I step offline, stays in front of my center, back it crosses over that hip, move that elbow. And then quick review, we do kind of a half tenkan and then full tenkan, or a tenkai tenkan. So here and then here. So that's here and then here. In the actual rendition of that move, you don't have to stop here or pause here, but that's in the move. That's in the move. So one of the things that that's helpful for is that without that segment in there, people will tend to kind of swing their leg around, and then their upper body counters that weight. So they kind of wobble, and it takes up too much space. That's an unclean move. For example, there could be someone there or a wall there. So I want my movement to be much more concise, where it simply comes in and back. I'm not wobbling. Okay, so offline, your right wrist stays in front of your center. And the first couple, we'll break that down. So we do a tenkai, or half that tenkan, and then full tenkan. So we'll just do that just a couple times. Offline, tenkai, tenkan, weight stays in the right leg. Offline turn, hands well in front. Good, so those elbows are way in front. Same as Mnuchi. We just have turned the palms up and a little bit lower perhaps because this is gate on low level. So let's do that in 1 count. Okay, so each. Pause at the end to do any correction. Weight still forward in the right leg. Right knee's bent. Knee. Weights forward in that right leg. Okay, so the other side, Tidai. So break that down a couple of times again. So left foot comes offline. Oh, by the way, so again, just quick review. As you step offline, that foot turns slightly on the ball. to face your partner, which means my center line turns, engaging the partner, which means my hand turns, or my wrist, arm, come in front because of that hip turning. Okay, so that's offline, half a turn, and then a full step. So offline, tenkai, weights in the left leg, tenkan, weight still in the left leg. So left leg offline, half turn, weights in the left leg, full turn, weight still in the left leg. So that's here, here. Okay. So each, weights in the left leg, knee, okay. Kokyo window. So it's virtually the same. We just now are moving continuously. So my hand moves with the leg. Of course, want to stay nice and low. Weight continues to exit through the legs. As I step forward, that brings the hand forward. This digs down. It's almost as if that hand pushes that hip back. So step, turn, step, turn. So it's just more of a continuous movement. Good. Okay, so then the tenkan undo with the slide step. So 90 degrees. So again, pushing off drives the arms out and up. Coming back draws them back. And we just cover lots of ground with the slide step. So that's here, sliding back, weight in the back leg, entering, weight in the back leg. Okay, let's do that together. The one count is there and back. Each. Feet. Go. Rope. Okay. Let's do 180 degrees. So that will be exactly the same dynamics. Doing a full turn. Slide stepping. Okay. So there and back for one count. So each. Keep going on your own time. Remember, you're still hanging out, so weight falls freely through the hips into the ground. You're not up in your body. You're certainly not up in your upper body. You're in your lower body and continuing to sink down from there. So that means your legs will be nicely bent. Even as you're making that nice big fly step, your weight is in your lower body and dropping from there. Okay, good. And then Mnuchi, Shiho Undo. So 4-direction Mnuchi. Okay, so let's start together. So each, ni, san, shi, and then irimi tenkan sets you up to begin again. Each, ni, san, shi, keeping the knees bent the whole time. Each, ni, san, shi, irimi tenkan. And if you continue for a couple more. Excellent. So Mladen, it's looking really good. I'm keeping a good eye on you, and it looks good.
Thank you.
Ushiro Shiko. Okay, so again, that's really about developing hip movement. Again, staying in our lower body. Again, what tends to happen is we're in our upper body and we're throwing our upper body around. We want to exist from here down. Then we're nice and stable. So it's just turning the hips. We'll have the arms out there, of course, but the actual dynamic is simply turning the hips back. Strong forward flow. Okay, so we'll just see a little bit of that. Okay. So Mladen, can you do a little bit where you're just going back? Ushiro, just the back movement. There we go. Excellent. So that's the back movement. That's Ushiro Shiko. Okay, Yoko Otoshi. We're throwing the lower body in an arc. So we're looking for a good position here, head on the chest, arm out 45 to 90 degrees, triangle shape with the legs. And I simply change the shape over to the other side. So I'm timing the slap of the arm with the lower body hitting the ground. So how high you go with the lower body in an arc is totally up to you. So at a very minimal level, I might just turn over and I'm just turning the shape over to the other side. As I get more comfortable with that, I can throw my lower body up and I switch over. Very similar to the other day we're doing a class where we're swiveling on the hips and switching legs. It's very much the same action. Throw my legs up in the air, swivel to the other side of the hips. And then I time the slap. Okay, so let me just illustrate one aspect. So you want to make sure this knee is pointing straight up, Mladen. What's happening is a little bit of that. And if I'm landing with a lot of impact, that means my legs are actually going to smash together. I won't be able to keep that up if there's any real momentum. And I don't really want that to happen because you could actually break a bone or damage ligament or tendon by things smashing together. So by having this straight up, I don't know if I can illustrate this from here, but if I drop that from there, as long as my knee is pointing straight up, it has nowhere to go. If my knee is angled just a little bit, watch, I'll do the same drop. It's going to drop down and maybe bang into the other leg. So I keep that pointed straight up. So the force reverberates through the lower leg straight up to the ceiling through the knee. So when I switch sides, one of the things we want to train is have that leg pointing straight up, so that it comes down, so it doesn't collapse on that impact. If it's bent a little bit, bending over, if there's a lot of impact, it's going to smash into the other leg. Let's try a few of those. That's it. That's right. That's right. Good. Okay. Then Mayatoshi, of course. So one of the things that
Bonnie and I were working on last class. Once you have the basic shape of the front break fall, where the head is turned, so you're protecting the face, and the belly's off the ground, so you don't get your ribs broken or your wind knocked out of you. The little refinement we worked on was that once your body knows that, you want to turn your head as you drop. When we're first learning it, we put the shape on up here, including the head turn. So as a beginner learning this, you definitely want to turn the head really early and fall from here. I want to have the shape, turn the head, and then fall. Now, once you have a sense of this fall, you want to turn your head as you fall, because in a real situation, you won't have time to turn your head because you won't know that you're falling until you're falling. So then you want to train yourself to turn your head automatically as you're falling. So now it'll look like this. As I fall, I turn my head. As I fall, I turn my head. Okay, try a few of those. Couple more. Good, good, okay. And then movement, footwork with more slide stepping, Ushiro Sugiyashi. So front foot comes offline, and then big step back to that back corner. We end up in a back stance, covering center line, strong forward flow as we move back. Okay, so let's break that down a couple times. So left foot forward, left foot offline, right foot step back, big step to the back corner, slide step back, weight ends up in the right leg. Strong, clear shape. So forward stance in the left leg, offline, big step back, slide back, weight in the back leg. So let's do that on a count of 2. So each, knee. Each, knee. Weight clearly in the back leg. Each, knee. Okay, now that whole move smoothly on 1 count. So forward in the left leg, each in the back leg. Knee. San. Shi. Forward stance, forward stance. So forward in the left leg to start with. Whoa. Good, okay. Migi hanmi, right leg forward. So we're stepping offline with the right leg, big step back with the left leg, sliding back, weight in the left leg. Quick pointer, something I noticed, make sure you're not sliding the leg heavy. So if I come offline, big step back, don't be heavy with that. It's like a hovercraft. The idea is that you're not dragging your foot, just that you're not separating yourself from the ground. You're not dragging the foot, but you're also not taking these separating steps, separating you from the ground, but you're not glued to the ground, not stuck. So when you step back, this should be very, very light. Not a heavy slide. Okay. So on 2 counts, forward in the right leg, each, knee, weight in the back leg. Each, knee. And that whole thing on 1 count, forward in the right leg, each, weight in the left leg. Knee. San.
Shi. Go. Okay, looks good. Looks good. So Mladen, you are good. Mladen is good to go. Very good. Yeah, you're ready. You're ready. Okay, some new techniques. We're going into Shiko. You guys are going to love this one because I know you love Shiko, especially on the floors that you probably have. Irmi Tenkan Shiko. So the program we just did, it's Yushiro Shiko, backward Shiko. Irmi Tenkan is going in circles. So, but you've done this before anyway. I was seeing that Mladen was doing this anyway when he was doing it, but now it's specifically on the program. So I enter in and turn, enter in and turn. What that means is you take the back knee to the front knee and then turn back. You bring the back knee to the front knee and turn. Back knee to the front knee and turn. And of course, you still want to keep your hands in front. It's okay to forget about the hands if you're still working on the knee work, but Irmi Tenkan. Irmi Tenkan. Try not to wobble side to side. So you'll be able to correct the wobble if you have a strong forward flow with your intention. Strong mental flow forward will stabilize you. And think of just swiveling the hips like we did in Ushiro Shiko. Forward Shiko, back Shiko, we simply just turn the hips. We don't wobble, just turn the hips. It's the same idea with this. Just think of turning your hips sideways, not trying to throw yourself around in a circle, just turning your hips sideways, laterally. So that is something to practice. Good. I can see the smiles on your faces. You're going to enjoy that one. Okay. Let's go to. Okay, we'll do Tachiwaza Yoku Otoshi. So side break fall from standing. Tachiwaza is standing. Yoku Otoshi, side break fall. This won't be anything new for you either. We start in a Hambi no Kamai. I kneel down on the back knee and do a side break fall. So I kneel down and then set up for the break fall. So the hand closest to the side of the down leg comes up across, ready to slap. Other hand is on the belt. And then at first you want to sit on your leg. You don't want to come from here to start with. Eventually you can do a break fall from here. But to start with, you just sit down. And then slide your butt off. And then same finish position as before when we're throwing the lower body around. Now, quick note, what tends to happen with people is they tend to kind of fall a little bit back. That's not really a side break fall. It's more almost a back break fall. So you want to fall directly to the flank, right 90 degrees to the side. So I start in Hambi no Kamai. I kneel down, tuck my chin, set up, sit, fall sideways. Head stays on the chest. Try a few of those. Yeah, and Bonnie, feel free to actually sit right on your heel or sit right on your leg before you fall to the side. You can just break it down like that. That's right, that's right. Okay, let's finish with misogi, hanging out, weight in the lower body. Upper body is released and opened. As we drop the weight through the lower body, upper body is freed. And so now the breath is free to move very easily through the body. Lower body is grounded, settled, anchored. Upper body is open and free.